Building on the welcome Conference Joint Conference of Hastings College for today's men's basketball style conference match. Today's contest is originally in Capital University Diamonds and your Manhattanville College students. Manhattanville College provides good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. And important cooperation by supporting participants and officials of the college environment. For financial, racial, or sexist comments, and other opinions, actions, against officials, student athletes, coaches, or
And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaplan Center and a Happy New Year, bringing you some Skyline Conference basketball between the home side, your Mount St. Mary Knights, and the visiting Manhattanville Valiants. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a tale of two very different seasons for both sides. Manhattanville comes into this contest at 5-5. The home side, Mount St. Mary, they come into this one at 2-8, riding a 7-game losing streak. But one common denominator is Connor Gemmel gets up there but cannot win the tip-off as the Valiants will start off with the ball. One common theme for both sides here this afternoon is that one's taken away from Mount St. Mary. Justin Rivera on the steal. Now works his way back, switches over to his left hand, will swing it for Connor Gemmel underneath. Gemmel gives it back to Rivera. Rivera thought about putting it on the ground, swings it up top for Egan. Egan puts it on the ground, swings it to his right, gets it to Graham. Working up top, Matthew Walsh, back for Connor Gemmel at the top of the key. 10 left on the 30. Gemmel will leave it for Rivera. Rivera puts it up, puts it on the ground, works to his right, back to the free throw line, gives it back to Egan for 3. That one won't go. Rebounded Manhattanville. That one brought down by number 4, Chris Robinson. Both sides 0-1 in conference play. They both played December 13th, 3 weeks ago today. Manhattanville took a loss to Yeshiva, and Mount St. Mary took a loss to Purchase. Carlos Arena gives it back, swung all the way across the floor, now back outside towards the baseline. Swung all the way up top for John Ranahan. Ranahan leaves it back up top for Andrew San Luis. San Luis, top of the key on the ground, works to his right, loses the ball, swings it to the elbow. Shot, that one goes up, and good, and the foul. Nicely done from Chris Robinson, getting the shot to go and one. And a good start here for the visiting side. A tough basket there from Chris Robinson, 6'2" senior from Bedford-Stuyvesant, New York. Robinson, one of the more prolific scorers on this Manhattanville team, one of 3 men averaging double-digit points this season. Andrew San Luis leads the team with 19.4 as Robinson's free throw gets it to go. Isaiah Middleton averages 14, Chris Robinson averages 13. That ball inbounded to J.P. Egan. Egan will leave it back deep for Brendan Graham, back up top for Egan. Egan swings it for Rivera. Rivera cuts inside, pull-up jump shot a little too strong. That one brought down by Middleton. Middleton will leave it now for San Luis. San Luis cross court to the wing, working inside Robinson. Spin move, kicks it back up top. San Luis on the ground, thought about it. Pull-up jump shot. That one is good. So a good offensive start for the Valiants. 2 for 2 from the field to open the contest. And they open this one in a half-court set, looking to cut off Mount St. Mary before they really even get going. As Justin Rivera works it on the ground, works it to his right, leaves it for Graham. Graham will leave it up top for J.P. Egan. Egan will swing it, gets it to Rivera. Thought about it, now swings it for Egan up top. Egan goes to work, that one won't go. He does draw a foul, I think. No, so they will say no foul. No foul on Egan, and the Valiants will inbound it as is. So a bit of a stoppage on the floor. Whatever issue there was quickly resolved. So Robinson working with it, spins around. He'll swing it for Middleton. Middleton back up top for Robinson. Here's Ranahan. Ranahan will swing it. San Luis inside. Working with it, Arena. Back up deep for San Luis. That one takes a couple of bounces, rims out. Nicely done on the second chances. Middleton, he just can't get that shot to fall. So some good interior defense from Mount St. Mary that possession, and our score stays 5-0. J.P. Egan will swing it. He'll try a three-pointer. That one won't go. But this one is a foul, and it will be 3 free throws for the home side. So Mount St. Mary will have their first chance to score here tonight. At the line right now, number 2, Matthew Walsh. Walsh, a 6'2" senior from Port Jefferson Station, New York. Top 3 leading scorer on this Mount St. Mary team this season, as the first free throw is good. He has started in all 10 games, and he's averaging 7.5 points a contest. Second free throw is good. So Walsh looking to put his team back within a field goal, and looking to complete a perfect trip to the line. The third free throw left short, getting a hand on it is Gemmel. They're going to say this was last touched by Gemmel. despite arguments from multiple Mount personnel. San Luis inbounds it to Arena. Arena working on Walsh will give it back to San Luis. San Luis gives it back to Arena. Arena will swing it to the corner for Ranahan. Back up top for Arena. Puts it on the ground, working with his right, switches over to his left. He'll swing it for San Luis. San Luis uses a screen, gives it back to Arena. Arena will put it on the ground. He gets it inside. Nice move, gets it up and under. Nicely done on the basket there. That's Isaiah Middleton, the 6'5 junior from Miami, showing off his size and athleticism. Nice finish there. Working with it now, Brendan Graham. Graham on the ground, cuts to his left. Will leave it for Rivera. Rivera gets it to Egan. Egan on the ground. He'll work to his right. Swings it for Walsh on the opposite wing. Walsh cuts inside. Gets it up top. Gembel will try a three-pointer. Ribs in and out. Brought down by San Luis. Nicely done. It did look like he was going to get it there for a second. Corner three. Ranahan. No good. Tipped up. Coming down with it finally is Justin Rivera. So that ball changed hands a little bit after the shot from Ranahan. But ultimately it is Mount St. Mary that comes away with it. Egan now working against Ranahan. He'll swing it for Walsh. Walsh has yet to put it on the ground. He'll swing it up top, gets it to Graham. Graham looking for any sort of space. Manhattanville not shying away from defensive pressure early as Graham will give it to Egan. Egan for three as the shot clock winds down. Won't go. Nicely done on the offensive glass from Gembel. Pull-up jump shot. Rivera, that one's good. So the Mount St. Mary big man at 6'7", making some second chance points happen, which has been a struggle really all year for the home side. So nicely done as it's worked into the corner. Back up top. Arena can't get it to go. Takes a couple of bounces. Second chance points for Isaiah Middleton. So both sides trade second chance buckets, and the Valiants maintain a 5-point lead. Your score is 9-4. Working with it now, Rivera gets to Graham. Graham goes all the way back across the floor for Rivera. Rivera puts the moves on, spins, thought about shooting it, kicks it back outside the three-point line for Egan. Egan will get it to Gemmel. Gemmel will swing it to the corner. Rivera will try a three-pointer. That one is good. A nice triple for Mount St. Mary, and the lead is back down to 2. Robinson gets it to Arena. Arena to Ranahan. Ranahan back up top, back inside. Working against Walsh. That one tipped, not taken away. Robinson, good job maintaining possession. Ranahan gets a good look for three. That one's short. And it is brought down by Gemmel. So Mount St. Mary forces a stop. They've forced stops on 2 of the last 3 possessions. They only trail this one now by 2, as we are 5 minutes into the first half. Swung across the floor, gets it to Rivera. Rivera on the ground working against a double team. San Luis lost track of Egan, now picks him back up. Gemmel gets it to Egan inside, and a foul on the floor. I believe this one against San Luis. As substitutions on both sides, Andrew Melillo comes in for the Valiants, as does Daniel Mariniaccio. And Coach Kadlubowski goes with almost a line change. 4 new men out there in white. So Mount St. Mary goes with a change of personnel. 14:23 left to play in this first half. As Anthony Marziotti is under the basket for the home side, ready to do the inbounding. Looks for the open man. He'll swing it for Liam Lynch. Lynch gets it up top. Matt Monaco works with it. Works it on the ground. Swings it to his right. Here's Marziotti. Marziotti gets it inside. Jump shot. Jeremino is good. Perfect mid-range basket from the baseline for Rob Jeremino, and we are all tied up at 9. San Luis swings it back across the floor. Back to San Luis. San Luis now swings it up across half court. The Valiants now in business on offense with 20 left on the shot clock. Swings it up top for Mariniaccio. He leaves it for San Luis. San Luis across the floor for Ranahan. Ranahan on the ground, cuts inside, leaves it up top for Melillo. That one good off the glass. Nicely done on the find. And the Valiants retake a 2-point lead. Here's Lynch working up against Melillo. Again, Manhattanville not shying away from that half-court press to open the contest. Lynch left in the corner. Now back up top with it. Here's Jeremino. Jeremino now puts it on the ground, works to his right, now swings it back underneath, putting the moves on Monaco. Turnaround jump shot is good. Some nifty offense there from Matt Monaco, and we are back even at 11. Swung up ahead for Mariniaccio. Leaves it for Melillo, back up top. Swings it now to the corner. Now to the wing. Cutting inside. Goes right at 4 Mount defenders. Can't get it to fall. No foul. So some excellent interior defense from the home side. Working with it now is Lynch. Mount St. Mary looking to at least take a deep breath. 12:56 to go here in this first half. Lynch will swing it for Jeremino. Jeremino on the ground, cuts to his right, swings it into the corner. Back up top for Jeremino. Jeremino will leave it for Marziotti. 9 left on the 30. Mount St. Mary need to get a shot off here. Hersner with it. Hersner inside for Jeremino. 4 to shoot. Nice defense from the Valiants. Jeremino got a shot off. That one missed everything. They will say the rebound happened before the shot clock expired. Nice transition defense. San Luis pull up jump shot. Can't get it to go. So Manhattanville tried to pull a fast one. As now we have a whistle somewhere on the floor. Coach Kadlubowski pleading his case as he often does. So we have a bit of a lull in play as checking in for the Valiants is number 13, Antonio Del Vescovo. Hersner has to find anybody. Tried to get it to Monaco. That pass a little too high. They will say it is last touched by Mount personnel. It'll go out of play. So Manhattanville's half-court press finally forces a turnover. And now the men in black will look to cash in on that opportunity. Something went wrong on the inbound. We'll have to do it again. Mariniaccio relieved of his inbounding duties. That ball inbounded to Melillo. Melillo will swing it for Mariniaccio. Back to Melillo. Works it inside. Ranahan goes right to the rim. Gets it to go, and the foul. Nicely done there from John Ranahan, the 6'2 junior, finishing through the contact. And for the second time today, the Valiants will have a chance for the three-point play. So John Ranahan, one of 4 Manhattanville players to start all 10 games this season, now all 11. Ranahan averaging 9.7 points per contest, and he has his guys up 3. Liam Lynch crosses half court, puts it on the ground. There's going to be a foul on the floor, this one against the Valiants. So perhaps a little too overzealous on the defensive pursuit. Anthony Marziotti will inbound it for the home side. Marziotti looks for the open man, thought about getting it to Lynch, now swings it inside. Nice leaping effort from Jeremino to bring that one down. Jeremino will leave it for Lynch. Lynch working on San Luis. Jeremino will set a screen. Now Hersner. He'll try a triple. Got it. Beautifully done from beyond the arc, ladies and gentlemen, and we are all tied at 14. Mariniaccio will swing it now. Back to Mariniaccio. Gets it now to Ranahan. Ranahan up top, working just outside the MSMC circle. He'll try a three-pointer. That one won't go. Brought down by Jeremino. Jeremino will leave it up ahead for Marziotti. The Knights working in transition. He'll wait for numbers. Swings it to the wing. It's Hersner. Hersner does some dribble work. Now leaves it inside. Going to get it as Monaco. Can't quite bring it down, and the Valiants force a turnover. Here's the Valiants in transition. 2 points for Ranahan. So John Ranahan has the last 5 for the Valiants, and Manhattanville is up 2. Marziotti up over the top. Nicely done by Monaco just to bring that one down. He'll go right at the rim. That shot won't go, but I believe they're going to say this is a foul. It is, as Coach Kadlubowski will go with a full line change, an entirely new 5 out for the home side. The starting 4 members of the starting 5, the outlier being Caleb Eller. He'll check in for the home side for the first time tonight, as Isaiah Middleton checks back in, for the Valiants. So Eller on the inbound, he'll get it up top for Gemmel. Gemmel will leave it for Rivera. Rivera on the ground, works to his right, shot fake, leaves it back outside for Eller. Eller operating outside the three-point line, doesn't put it on the ground. Tried to get it to Gemmel, that pass a little too high. It will go off the fingertips of Gemmel and out of play. So Andrew Melillo will do the inbounding for Manhattanville, as Daniel Mariniaccio comes back into the game. So Manhattanville operating with a 2-point lead. They have played excellent defense. Mount St. Mary in a bit of a relaxed full court press, as Robinson will swing it up top for Malillo. Malillo will get it to the wing. Back up top for Malillo. 12 left on the 30. Cuts inside, works it underneath. Tried to get it to Del Vescovo. That pass just a little too strong. Del Vescovo could not handle it. It will go out of play, last touched by the visitors. So Mount St. Mary forces another stop on the interior. They still trail this one by 2. 16-14 your score. 10-19 left to play here in the first half from the Kaplan Center. Swung into the corner, working with it Walsh. They're going to say he stepped out of bounds right along the baseline. So Manhattanville forces a turnover. And now they look for a chance to get to the basket and make this a 2-possession game. Malillo will inbound it, working with it Robinson. Robinson guarded by Walsh in the full court press, swung across from Malillo, found his way back to Robinson. Robinson swings it for Mariniaccio. He'll take some time to set up the offense here. 12 left on the 30. Mariniaccio inside to Robinson. Robinson right underneath, up and under. A nice finish there from Isaiah Middleton on the pass from Chris Robinson. And it's a 4-point lead. Swung across for Rivera. Rivera on the ground. He'll give it to the corner for Walsh. Walsh inside. Cuts inside the paint. Spin move. Gets a shot off. A lot of contact. Can't get it to go. No foul. That rebound brought down by the Valiants. Robinson bringing the ball up the floor. Will swing it to the corner. Attempted the baseball pass. The vision was there. He did have the open man in the corner. That pass just off of the intended target and out of play. So a bit of a missed opportunity there in transition for the Valiants. The lead, of course, still 4. No press here yet from the visiting side, as there's a bit of a lull in play. So the ball is inbounded. Justin Rivera bringing the ball up the floor for the home side. Rivera crosses half court. Now works inside with his right. Will leave it into the corner. Nice shot fake from Graham. This will be a long 2. That one won't go. Nicely done on the offensive glass. Second chance points for Connor Gemmel. Nicely done there from the big fella, and the lead is back down to 2. Robinson will swing it for Malillo. Malillo back to Robinson. Robinson guarded by Graham. He'll swing it back across for Malillo. Malillo will leave it for Mariniaccio. Robinson, shot fake, now leaves it for Mariniaccio. Spin move, cuts inside, pull-up jump shot. That one a little too strong, rebounded Justin Rivera. Mount St. Mary, nicely done, forcing another stop. Rivera will go right at Manhattanville in transition. That shot won't go, but I believe this will be a foul on the floor. So the Valiants resort to fouling at Rivera to stop the fast break. And the Mount St. Mary senior will get 2 chances to tie the game. So Rivera, one of 4 Mount St. Mary members to have started all 11 contests this season, as the first free throw is no good. Averaging 8.1 points per game. So Rivera will take a minute as both sides make a substitution. Rivera's second. That one rims in and out, so tough break at the free throw line for Justin Rivera the first time around. 0 for 2 at the stripe, and Manhattanville maintains a 2-point lead as Robinson cuts inside, almost got a ridiculous and 1. An athletic attempt even just to get that shot off. But either way, now Chris Robinson will shoot 2. And he has a chance to give his guys a little bit of breathing room. Manhattanville 18, Mount St. Mary 16. 8:25 left here in this first half. Robinson's first. That one rims in and out. So the lead will stay at 2. Robinson, again, a top 3 scorer on this Manhattanville team. One of 3 players to be averaging double-digit points. One of 4 players to have started all 11 games. So Robinson's second goes a little bit better than the first. So Manhattanville does pick up a little bit of insurance, but of course Mount St. Mary, a 3-point field goal away from tying this one up. As we have some sort of issue on the court, and it will be another foul. So I believe this will be Justin Rivera shooting 2 more free throws. Rivera will try it, and he'll get it. So Rivera, I believe, in a 1-and-1 type ordeal, makes the first and earns the right to shoot a second. So Rivera's second won't go. And now with 8:20 left to play here in this first half, it's Robinson cutting inside, goes right at the rim, up and under, can't get it to go, and Robinson draws another foul. So the way of the free throw has been king, at least in these just last 30 seconds of play. Both teams have gotten 2 trips to the line in easily the last 10 seconds of game. So this will be a foul on the floor, no free throws. But the point stands as the referee makes sure the correct information is relayed to the scorer's table. Robinson to inbound, gets it, shot. That one no good from the baseline, snatched out of the air by Egan. Working with it now is Brendan Graham. Graham switches to his left, cuts to the wing, will leave it for Rivera. Rivera leaves it up top for Egan. Egan on the ground, works to his right, looks for the open man, leaves it for Gemmel at the top of the key. Gemmel will swing it for Graham. Graham operating at the wing closest to the screen. Here's Egan. Egan, nice spin move up and under the basket. Can't get it to go. Almost getting the rebound is Hersner. I believe they'll say this is an over-the-back foul. They will. And so now it is inbounded by Graham. He'll get it to Hersner. Hersner thought about it. Will now leave it for Egan. Egan swings it for Rivera. Rivera up along the wing. Now cuts inside. Switches back over to his right hand. Swings it up top for Graham. Graham inside. Thought about the pull-up jump shot. Now he changes his mind. 5 left on the 30. Mount St. Mary needs to get a shot off. 2, 1. They will say no. He did not get it off. So excellent defense from Manhattanville, forcing a shot clock violation. And so now with 7:28 to play here in this first half, the Valiant's defense stands tall. Carlos Arena back into the contest for the visiting side. Robinson will leave it for Andrew Sanloy. Back for Arena. Arena will leave it for Ranahan. Ranahan up top. It's San Luis. San Luis now for... Here's Robinson in the corner. Robinson guarded by Egan. Shot fake, works inside, now works it back outside the three-point line. Ranahan right under the basket. Easy does it, the one-handed floater for John Ranahan, and he'll get it to go again. That ball inbounded to Hersner. Hersner will leave it back for Graham. 6:50 and counting down here in this first half. Manhattanville leads by 4. Here's Graham, spin move, gets it to the wing. Tight defense from San Luis. Back up top for Egan. Egan into the corner for Hersner. Hersner on the ground will dump it off for Graham. 10 left on the 30. Mount St. Mary having a lot of trouble just finding the open look here. There's Gemmel on the ground. 4 to shoot. 3-pointer from Hersner. He got it. A massive shot there from Daniel Hersner, and the home side is back within 1. So a possession removed from a shot clock violation. Mount St. Mary takes off 27 seconds of the ensuing possession. That one results in a big 3-point basket. Robinson, he'll try and answer with a 3 of his own. He got it. Chris Robinson continues his hot start. That one good from 3-point land. 24-20, and we have our first timeout. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with 6:07 left to play here in the first half, it is a 24-20 Manhattanville lead, and we will take a brief step aside. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaplan Center. I am Lucas Stackpole. Manhattanville currently holds on to a 24-20 lead with 6:07 left to play in the first half. Of course, the two most famous numbers on the internet right now is Egan swings it across the court. Now it's Hersner trying to bring the ball up the floor. He's working on Robinson. Hersner now goes coast to coast. He'll go right at the rim. Got a shot off. Won't go. But the officials, it looks like they'll say there was some contact on Hersner's way to the rim. So the referee goes to the scorer's table to hand out the appropriate punishment. And Daniel Hersner will shoot two. So Hersner, fresh off shooting a big three-pointer that at the time brought them out within one. His first free throw won't go, so Hersner will take a second to regroup. Looking for at least one on this trip to the charity stripe. Hersner's second, you got it. And so for now, the Knights have cut the deficit back to a possession. Robinson bring the ball up the floor. He'll swing it across the court for San Luis. San Luis will get it back to Robinson. Robinson now will swing it for Ranahan. Ranahan underneath. He'll go right at the rim. He got it to go. That ball took a couple of bounces. It looked like it was going to take a second to settle in the cup, and it did. So now Egan will leave it along the wing for Liam Lynch. Liam Lynch back into the contest. He'll stop right inside the paint. There'll be a push-off, I believe. This one will go against Marziotti. And an inbound coming for Manhattanville. This is a little bit tricky because I am blessed enough to be broadcasting this game remotely. I'm bringing the action to you from sunny Central California. But that means I am also watching this game on stream like most of you guys. And so now, here's Chris Robinson working against Lynch. Lynch will back off, swung underneath for Middleton. Middleton back underneath on the cut. Robinson shot fake, now cuts inside, goes right at the rim, gets it to go. Almost got it to go. Nicely done from Robinson, just being able to get inside. So the shot goes, the shot doesn't go, but there is a foul on the floor. And so Manhattanville, despite the miss, will retain possession with a new 20. Into the corner, it's Ranahan. Ranahan works inside, now leaves it back into the corner for Robinson. He'll try a three-pointer. That one won't go off the back iron. Lynch will grab the long rebound. Liam Lynch, stretching the floor for the home side, has that one poked away. Rob Germino almost picked that one off the floor. Liam Lynch takes that one away on almost the line of scrimmage. Lynch will go right at the rim. He's fouled on the way up. So an insane sequence of events there will culminate in, I believe, 2 free throws for Liam Lynch. Lynch had the ball poked away. Manhattanville came away with the loose ball and then proceeded to give it right back to Liam Lynch. So Lynch turns his mistake into some nice defense, as I believe we have another timeout. And so, ladies and gentlemen, while we do have a brief stoppage on the floor, your score is Manhattanville 26, Mount St. Mary 21. 2 free throws when we come back. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with 4:44 left to go in this first half, your score, Manhattanville 26, Mount St. Mary 21. Liam Lynch appears ready to take his 2 free throws. The referees did go to the proverbial replay booth for one reason or another. A little bit hard because I'm operating without game ambience, but either way, the call stands, or the foul was in fact attributed to the right person. So we will continue now with our regularly scheduled programming here at the free throw line. Lynch is first, takes a bounce off the front rim and in. So +1 for the home side. Lynch, a frequent flyer, as Bob Hauk would put it, in this Mount St. Mary lineup, has not started a game yet this year, but he has appeared in all 11. So Liam Lynch, of course, a familiar face to the home side. Chris Robinson bringing the ball up the floor for the Valiants, looking to give his guys a little more separation. He has already had a really good game on offense as San Luis will swing it for Arena. He'll get it to Ranahan. Ranahan back to San Luis. San Luis averaging nearly 20 points per game. As there's a foul on the floor, this one will go against Lynch. Lynch can't believe it. And so Coach Kadlubowski just picking the referee's brain, making sure they saw the same thing. A pastime for which he is famously known. San Luis, outside the three-point line, thought about it, guarded by Hersner. He'll swing it now for Robinson. Robinson up top, it's Arena. Arena now goes inside, goes right at Hersner, gets it to go. Nice finish there from Carlos Arena. And it's a 5-point lead. Here's Lynch working with it. He'll work now towards the baseline, picks up his dribble, swings it back up top. Thought about it was Jeremino. Inside, it's Monaco. That one just to the left, a little too strong. Hits off the back iron, rims out. And now Chris Robinson will bring the ball up the floor for Manhattanville. He'll leave it with Arena. 3:50 to go here in this first half. Arena will swing it for Ranahan. Ranahan will get it up top for San Luis. San Luis, shot fake, goes right at Hersner, falling away, gets it to go off the glass. The bank is open for Andrew San Luis. Attacks the baseline, gets it to go off the glass, and the lead back up to 7 for the Valiants. Monaco will leave it for Lynch. Lynch will get it to Walsh. Walsh will swing it for Marziotti. Marziotti gets it to Monaco. Monaco will work it towards the wing. Gets it to Lynch. Lynch back inside for Monaco. Monaco swings it all the way across the floor. Tried to get it to Hersner. That pass a little too high. That one out of the reach of the 6'4 sophomore. It'll go out of play as Coach Kadlubowski will go with another line change. San Luis will inbound it to Robinson. He'll give it back to San Luis. J.P. Egan waits for him right in front of half court. San Luis gets past half court. Egan will back off as Manhattanville looks to set up the offense. Arena inside. Robinson goes right at the rim. Can't get it to go. A lot of contact. No foul. Nice second chance points there from Middleton. So now Manhattanville on a 6-0 run. Mount St. Mary looking for a basket to stop the bleeding. They get it to Rivera. Mount St. Mary breaks the press. Rivera will go right at the rim. No foul. And now it's Manhattanville looking for points in transition. San Luis will swing it now back up top. It finds its way to San Luis. He'll go right at the rim. Looks like he lost the ball. Picking that one off the ground is Walsh. So Mount St. Mary nicely done on transition defense as Justin Rivera knocks down the two-point jump shot. Good job there from the home side to turn defense into offense. And the lead is cut back down to 7. Here's Chris Robinson now. Met by J.P. Egan at around the three-point line. He'll get it to San Luis. Gets it back up top to Robinson. Now swung across for Arena. Arena underneath, it's Middleton. A lot of contact. They're going to say that one was all ball. Ranahan picks it up. He'll get it back up top for Robinson. Putting the moves on. Has to get a shot off. Does. Won't go. And so Mount St. Mary forces the missed shot with 2 left on the shot clock. Three-pointer, Mount St. Mary. It's good. Rob Jeremino from the top of the key. And the lead is down to 4. Here now San Luis. Gets it to Robinson. Robinson picked up by Graham on the ground. Swings it now for San Luis. San Luis up and under the rim. Can't get it. Justin Rivera brings down the rebound. Mount St. Mary slowing it down. He'll wait for numbers. Rivera working with his right. Cuts inside. Long 2. That one's short. Robinson hits it straight up and is able to snatch it out of the air. Taking a fall is Rivera. Now it's Robinson looking to go coast to coast. He can't, but there is a foul on the floor. It will be a shooting foul. And so Chris Robinson, 2 more free throws for the 6'2 senior. Free throws are not a pretty brand of basketball, but there is something to be said for having the skill to be able to get to the line. And Robinson has done that frequently, and honestly, he's had a couple of and ones, too. Pretty good day at the office so far for Chris Robinson, as his first free throw is good. And so Robinson, his second, got it. So a substitution now for the Valiants coming back into the contest, number 13, Antonio Del Vescovo. 1 minute and 6 seconds left to play here in this first half. Your score, Manhattanville 34, Mount St. Mary 28. Justin Rivera bringing the ball up the floor. He'll swing it for Brendan Graham. Back to Rivera. Rivera operating from right around the midfield, the half-court logo. Midfield, my experience as a soccer broadcaster clearly has not yet left my mind. And so Mount St. Mary now in the bonus. This was a foul on the floor. But now Justin Rivera will get a 1-and-1. Or now Mount St. Mary in the double bonus. So the 1-and-1 rule no longer applies. Justin Rivera gets to shoot 2 regardless. The first one left a little bit short. He'll look to right the ship here with the second one. So both sides looking for their first conference win of the year. Mount St. Mary looking to snap a 7-game skid. Manhattanville comes into this one winners of 3 of 4, but they have not played a game since that December 13th loss to Yeshiva. Swung into the corner for Ranahan. Ranahan thought about it, now leaves it for Arena. Arena will attack the rim, now kicks it out. Long three-pointer, that one a little too strong. Rivera will take that one out of the air. Rivera running the floor, 37 seconds left to play here in this first half. Rivera back up top, Germino, three-pointer, got it. Huge shot there from Rob Germino, and the lead is back down to 3. Working with it now for the Valiants, it's Arena. The shot clock is turned off. 19 seconds and counting down. Middleton will leave it back for Arena. 8, 7, 6 and counting down. Here's San Luis. This is a guy you want taking the last shot. San Luis, step back three-pointer, leaves it short off the front rim. And that is how the first half of action ends here this afternoon. And so, ladies and gentlemen, your score after the first half of action, the Manhattanville Valiants 34 and your Mount St. Mary Knights 31. As always, I am Lucas Stackpole, and we will be back after 15 minutes for the second half of action. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kaplan Center. Once again, I am Lucas Stackpole, and we are just seconds away from some second half action between the Manhattanville Valiants and your Mount St. Mary Knights. Manhattanville currently leads this one 34-31, but it was a pretty evenly matched first half. Mount St. Mary finished the half a lot better than they started it, turning a 9-point deficit into a 3-point deficit before the break. So we'll see what Coach Kad Lebowski and the home team have in store for us in this second half, looking to snap this 7-game losing streak as Connor Gamble goes right to the rim, takes a hard fall, can't get the shot to go down. As that one swung inside, having a little trouble with it is Middleton. That one takes a couple of bounces, changes hands several times before finally landing with Mount St. Mary. Pull-up jump shot from the baseline, nicely done there from Brennan Graham, and the lead is down to 1. Nicely done on the home side. This was a lead that got as big as 9. It was 32-23 at one point in this one. So Mount St. Mary has done an excellent job just finding a way to put themselves back in it. As Arena's pass is picked off by Graham, Graham will swing it up ahead for Rivera. Rivera has to run it down, and so he will wisely wait for numbers. He'll swing it to Walsh. Walsh gets it to Egan. Egan leaves it back for Rivera. Rivera runs to the baseline, leaves it back up top. Egan will try a three-pointer over St. Louis. He got it. Big-time shot there from J.P. Egan, and Mount St. Mary has the lead. A 2-point advantage for the home side. Now we'll see what kind of answer Manhattanville has. You go back to that lead that was once 32-23. I know I had just mentioned it, but that is now a 13-2 run for the Mount over the last couple minutes of game action. It's nicely done there from Chris Robinson. He has had an excellent game for the visitors. A big basket there, and the deficit is eliminated. We're all knotted now at 36. Here's Brendan Graham working on Arena. Bounces off the screen, spins, he'll swing it to Egan. Egan bounce pass for Rivera. Looks like that one snuck up on him a little bit. Rivera nicely done on the up and under. Good job just getting a shot off. Couldn't get that one to go. Swung up ahead for Ranahan. Ranahan bounces off of Graham, gets it to go off the glass, and just like that, Manhattanville is back in front. So despite seeing that 9-point lead vanish, Manhattanville has managed to keep some composure coming into this second half. 2 excellent offensive possessions coming out of the break. Egan will swing it to the wing, putting it on the ground as Graham goes between the legs, gets it up top for Gemmel. Gemmel will leave it for Egan, and there is some contact on the floor. We'll have a foul, non-shooting. So Mount St. Mary will keep the ball with 20 on the shot clock. An inbound down to the basket coming. Graham looking for the open man. Has to be wary of the 5-second mark. Just launches it, giving chases Rivera. He's able to run it down. So Brennan Graham just throws up a Hail Mary so as to beat the 5-second violation. As Rivera stops in the paint, spins, kicks it back out. Operating it within the corner is Graham. He finds himself under the basket, kicks it to Walsh to the corner for 3. That one over everything. Nicely done on the glass. It's J.P. Egan. So some second chance points for Mount St. Mary, ladies and gentlemen. And we're all knotted up at 38. Chris Robinson bringing the ball up the floor for the Valiants. He'll swing it for Arena. He gets past Egan, loses the ball. So Mount St. Mary, the interior defense has been pretty good today. Going right at the rim. Can't get it to go. A tough finish there for Walsh. Had a solid enough look. Couldn't quite get it to go. And now for the Manhattanville side, it'll be Coach Romello Ford taking an early timeout in this second half. 16:39 left to play here today. But Coach Ford does not like what he sees from his guys coming out of the break. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with our score all tied up at 38, we will take a brief step aside. And so, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I am Lucas Stackpole welcoming you back to the Kaplan Center. Coach Ford of Manhattanville did not like what he saw from his team coming out of halftime, took an early timeout, 16:39 separating us and the finish line here this afternoon. But ladies and gentlemen, we have a good one, 38-38. Both sides looking for their first conference win. Again, Mount St. Mary looking to snap this skid they're on. And what better way to do it than the new year? New year, new nights. We'll see. That ball inbounded. It is Chris Robinson. He'll swing it down for John Ranahan. Ranahan gets it to Middleton. Middleton on the ground goes right at the rim using all 6'5". A nice finish from the South Florida product. And the Valiants back up two. There's Graham working on Melillo. Gets it to Rivera, who gets it to Egan. Egan thought about it, now spins back around. He'll get it to Gemmel. Gemmel will try a long three-pointer. That one's short off the front rim. Takes a bounce, but it is brought down ultimately by Melillo. Here come the Valiants looking to create any sort of separation. Robinson forces the defender off of him. That one won't go, but it is Middleton picking up the mess under the rim. Again, the 6'5" Miami product putting in work on the second chance points. Manhattanville back up 4. Rivera goes right inside, gets a good look, gets it to go. And that is the perfect basket at the perfect time. Justin Rivera, you're not going to find it much easier 2 points than that. As Ranahan swings it back to the top of the key, got it to Melillo. Now swung to the corner. Back up top for Robinson. Robinson operating out of the wing, swings it in the corner for Ranahan. Ranahan bounces off Egan, puts it back up to the top of the key. Here's St. Louis from around the elbow. Jumped, but didn't take the shot. Now Ranahan on the ground using his right. Tough basket from the baseline. Looked like he tried to get a shot off. A lot of contact. There is a foul. We'll just see if the referees say if it is on the floor in the act of shooting. As a trio of subs come on for the home side. And Daniel Marinaccio comes in for Manhattanville. So the referees will say the foul on Ranahan was on the floor, so no 2 free throws for the Valiants, but they do get to keep the ball inbound with 20 on the new shot clock. And swung to Marinaccio onto Ranahan. Ranahan back to Marinaccio. Now working with it is Melillo. Now it's Ranahan for 3. Got a good look. Rims in and out. This one will go out of play. Last touched by Liam Lynch. And so the Valiants catch a little bit of a break. Given that Lynch was the last to touch the ball and it was out on him, they also get a new shot clock. So the Valiants operating with a fresh 20 seconds. Looking to go back up 2 possessions. Swung back for Ranahan. Ranahan on the ground to his right. Swings it to the corner. Now Melillo gets it to Robinson up top. Robinson works his way inside. Spin move. Falling away. Can't get it to go. Nicely done by Matt Monaco on the glass. And Mount St. Mary now looks to pull even. Working with it now is Lynch. He'll run the baseline. Right under the basket now swings it to the corner. Up top for Monaco. Monaco swings it for Rivera. Rivera now goes right towards the rim, and I believe he'll draw a foul. So the referees do say, yes, it is a foul. That one appeared to be in the act of shooting. And they'll say it was. So now Justin Rivera, the senior for Mount St. Mary, a longtime heartbeat of this team, is second on the team in points per game with 8.1. As Rivera's first takes a couple of bounces and won't go. So only 1/10 of a point separate J.P. Egan and Justin Rivera on the top of the stat sheet for Mount St. Mary. Egan 8.2, Rivera 8.1. So Rivera looks to salvage a trip at the free throw line. He'll sink the second. And it is now Manhattanville leading by the slimmest of margins as Anthony Marziotti checks back in for Mount St. Mary. Robinson running the floor, swings it up ahead for Marinaccio. Robinson gets it back to Melillo. Melillo back to Robinson. Robinson from around the free throw line. Some dribble bag work. Tries to go right at Hersner. And that was a mistake. Daniel Hersner, nice interior defense. That shot won't fall. So now Lynch works it into the corner, running the baseline up and under. That one blocked. Rejected by Middleton. And it's a no-fly zone at the Kaplan Center. Murnicchio for three. That one off the side of the backboard. Look out. That one left short. Grabbing his own rebound is Melillo. And there will be a tussle for the ball. They will say possession will stick with the visiting side, I believe. I'm going to use inference and say there was a jump ball on the floor. So now it is Robinson doing the inbound for the visitors. Manhattanville just looking for any sort of breathing room. Of course, again, leading by the narrowest of margins. A nice spin move from Robinson. Gets it to go and the foul. Wow. And it has just been that kind of night for Chris Robinson, putting in some serious moves in the post. Gets it to go off the glass, drawing a lot of contact. And now if Robinson can knock this one down, Manhattanville goes back up 2 possessions. Robinson to complete the highlight reel. He got it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is something you put on the fridge at home. An absolute dandy of a three-point play from Chris Robinson. And the Valiant's up 45-41. There's Lynch, now goes past Robinson, has that one poked away. But they will say it is last touched by Valiant. That's twice now that has happened to Liam Lynch. Manhattanville doing a nice job just finding a way to poke check the loose ball. So that one is inbounded. Monaco, the intended target. He'll come down with it. Jeremino will give it to Hersner. Hersner guarded by Murnicchio. He'll leave it for Jeremino. Jeremino gets it inside to Monaco. Monaco spins, gets a shot off. That one hits off the front rim. Karam's out. And now the Valiant's running the floor looking for some separation. Robinson goes right at the rim. Got it. So Chris Robinson has scored the last 5 points. And Manhattanville now back up 6. Lynch spins, works inside the paint, gives it to Hersner up top. Hersner, that one rims out. Excellent hustle play by Lynch to keep that one alive. Three-pointer, Jeremino, that one won't go. Lynch again right there, can't quite come down with the rebound. And again, it is Chris Robinson making stuff happen, and now Robinson will draw the foul. Hersner a little overzealous in his transition defense, sends Robinson to the ground. Not a malicious foul by any means, but certainly a foul. And for someone who honestly has been hot as Robinson has been, fouling him in transition is honestly not the worst idea in the world. So Andrew Melillo will inbound it from right in front of the scorer's table. His guy's up 6. The referees making sure they are all on the same page. It is inbounded to Chris Robinson. Working with it now is Melillo. Melillo at the top of the key, waiting for something to develop. He'll swing it for Murnicchio. Working with it now is James Pistolico. Falling is Melillo. He'll stay on his feet, managed to maintain the ball. Robinson tried to get it inside, tried to get it to Middleton. That one just off the hands of Middleton and out of play. So an unusual, just simple mistake from the Valiants. Just a little error in his passing, ends that possession a lot sooner than it should have ended. So good defense there from Mount St. Mary to force the turnover. Now they need a basket to capitalize. Lynch goes right at the rim, runs the baseline, goes up and under the basket, now swings it back outside the three-point line for Gemmel. Jeremino is swarmed as Lynch's three-pointer short off the front rim, tried to get it back to Lynch. Some miscommunication there. Now the Valiants will wait for numbers. Now it's swung for Robinson. Robinson swings it inside. Nicely done by Pastilico just to keep it alive. That one short off the front rim. And now it's Mount St. Mary running the floor. They're in transition, waiting for numbers. Graham, shot fake, gives it back up top for Jeremino. Jeremino inside. It's Gemmel. Gemmel up and under and through. The Mount St. Mary big man doing what he does best. They feed him down low, and it's 6'7". That's not a shot he often misses. So the lead is down to 4. Some more error in his passing from Manhattanville. Coach Ford can't believe it. I'll say this one was out of play with his foot along the sideline. So Mount St. Mary's first turnovers on back-to-back Manhattanville possessions, and with 11:17 to play, they have a chance to get right back in it. Ball swings it to the corner. Three-point try. It's good. Huge shot there from Brendan Graham, and the lead is down to 1. So Mount St. Mary again has come all the way back to trail by the slimmest of margins. Manhattanville went on a little bit of a run. Robinson ends up on the ground. They're going to say there was a foul. The Knights can't believe it. The argument from the home side is that Robinson fell on his own accord. He was not shoved or anything of that nature. Unfortunately, the referees see it differently. And the Valiants inbounded as Robinson back to Arena. Up top for Apostolico. Now it's Robinson. Robinson gets it back to Arena. Arena into the corner for Marinaccio. Back up top for Arena. Arena thought about the long two. He'll swing it for Robinson. 2 left on the shot clock. Has to get it off, and he connects. Chris Robinson from deep three-point land, and Manhattanville back up 4. Mount St. Mary, I believe, will take a timeout. Yes, they will. So the long three-pointer from Chris Robinson to beat the shot clock forces Mount St. Mary to reconsider their strategy at least a little bit. So Manhattanville 50, Mount St. Mary 46 with 10:27 left to play. So, ladies and gentlemen, while Coach Kad Lebowski talks it over with his guys, we will take a brief step aside. And so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back after that brief timeout. If you're just now joining us, ladies and gentlemen, we have a good one at the Kaplan Center to open the new year. Manhattanville leads by 4, but it has really been incredibly close all game. The outlier was Manhattanville leading at one point by as many as 9. But towards the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half, Mount St. Mary effectively erased it, and we have a good one tonight. Rivera, a couple of spin moves, goes right at the rim, high off the glass. Almost got it to go. Couldn't quite. And so the Valiants now running the floor. Swung into the corner. Marinaccio for 3. No good. Rebounded by Matthew Walsh. So the Valiants try for the quick three-pointer. Had a good look. Couldn't quite knock it down. So nicely done by Mount St. Mary to grab the rebound. There is a stoppage and a lull somewhere. Likely just a foul on the floor. So Matthew Walsh will get the inbound right between his head coach and the scorer's table. And now Walsh inbounds it, gets to Egan, who gives it right back to Walsh. Walsh now puts the moves on, swings it for Graham. Graham on the far wing, now gives it back to Egan. Egan now cuts back over on the wing closest to your screen. It's Walsh. Walsh now gets it to Gemmel. Gemmel tried to work it inside. Getting a hand on it is Apostolico, and it's knocked out of play, last touched by Valiant. So now Mount St. Mary has an inbound play under the rim as we have dipped under the 10-minute mark. Graham swings it up ahead for Egan. Egan now back underneath for Gemmel. Gemmel tried to get it to Walsh. That pass a little too far out of reach of the intended target. Just like a quarterback missing his receiver on a drag route. That one just a little too far out of reach on a look that was there. But it is a turnover nonetheless, and now the Valiants look to capitalize. The Knights double in the half-court set. Now it's Ranahan, swings it back up top for Arena. Now swung into the corner. Here's Middleton. Middleton goes right at Egan, spins, now bounces back out. He's doubled after picking up his dribble. Back up top, it's Robinson. Robinson has played well all game, loses that one. That pass too high, but they will say it is last touched by a Knight. So by virtue of deflection, the Valiants will get to keep the ball. Swung in for Arena. Arena now swings it back inside the paint, up and in for Isaiah Middleton. Middleton elevates, and the Sunshine State product puts his guys back up 6. Now right underneath, wide open look for Matthew Walsh, and a much-needed answer from the home side. The lead immediately cut back down to 4. The Valiants get the ball past half court. Arena had a decent enough look, now chooses to attack the rim, throws it at the glass, can't get it to go. Rebounded by Walsh. Walsh now stretching the floor. He'll draw. So no, they'll say this is an offensive foul on Walsh somehow. It didn't look like he did much, assuming the foul was on Walsh. There was a bit of a collision right around that far wing, but that's nothing that wasn't a basketball play. So an interesting development there. Stunts the Mount St. Mary possession as it's a beautiful move from Marinaccio, and the Valiants back up 6. So, ladies and gentlemen, honestly, I'm still trying to piece together the foul call that ended the previous Mount St. Mary possession. As Justin Rivera will try a 3, that one long. Snatched out of the air by Middleton, and he's fouled immediately after the rebound. So Mount St. Mary definitely in need of just a deep breath. Obviously, the Walsh phantom foul, if that's how you want to put it. Of course, with referees, famously not always right, but they are never wrong. And so now I believe this will put Manhattanville into the bonus, which is worst case scenario for Mount St. Mary. Because, of course, in the bonus, any foul will send you to the free throw line. And in a game where Mount St. Mary has been close but hasn't really managed to pull ahead, this is the last thing you want to happen is that free throw is short. And so Manhattanville cannot take advantage of the 1-on-1. But in a game that has been close all day, the last thing you want to do is make it easier for your opponent to score, as Matthew Walsh will run right at the rim. He'll draw a lot of contact underneath. I believe this will send Mount St. Mary back to the line. It will, so Matthew Walsh with 2 big free throws here. 8:01 left to play here this afternoon. 54-48 your score. So Matthew Walsh averaging 7.5 points per game, good for top 3 on the team. Coming into today, 19 for 31 from the line. That one won't go off off the back iron. And so now we'll see if Walsh can salvage this trip to the free throw line. And now coming down the stretch, again, 8:01 to play. Every point matters as Walsh misses them both. That rebound snatched out of the air by Ranahan, and now Manhattanville looks to take advantage of the Knights' missed opportunity. There's Robinson on the far wing, operating outside of the Mount St. Mary Lights logo. That one taken away by Walsh. Walsh will swing it for Rivera. Rivera will attack the rim. That one blocked. Rejected at the rim, and now Manhattanville will look to turn defense into offense. Robinson swings it into the corner. Arena for 3. No good. That ball changes hands a couple of times before being knocked down finally by Walsh. He'll lose it. That one kept in play. Arena forced to get rid of it as momentum takes it out of bounds. A great job there from Manhattanville just to retain possession. St. Louis swings it into the wing. Now it's Arena. Arena ball fake. Now passes it for real. It's Ranahan running inside, working on the baseline. Robinson up top for Arena. Arena cuts inside. Fakes. Goes right at the rim. That one taken away by Graham. Nicely done on the strip. And so Mount St. Mary's interior defense comes up big there. Graham now swings it for Egan. Egan, far wing for Rivera. 6:55 to play. Mount St. Mary looking to turn some defense into offense. That three-pointer over everything for Egan. And now Arena runs right at the rim, goes right at Walsh. That one won't go. The referees, no foul. They're not fooled. Now here's Mount St. Mary in transition. Both sides have traded a couple of bad misses. Into the corner now. Three-pointer for Graham. Got it to go. Huge made shot there from Brendan Graham. The lead now cut to 3. And Coach Kadlubowski will take a timeout. And so, ladies and gentlemen, your score now 54-51. 6:33 separating us and the finish line here in the Kaplan Center. And we will take a brief step aside as both parties discuss strategy in their respective huddles. Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lucas Stackpole, and we are back off of that brief timeout, and we are in the midst of a good one, folks. 54-51 in favor of Manhattanville. It has been back and forth all game. The Valiants have been able to keep the lead for most of the contest, but it has never been by too much. Mount St. Mary has been in the thick of it all afternoon, and now we'll see which party prevails down the stretch. About 6.5 minutes to play. As the Valiant's working the ball around the horn, that one will go out of play, last touched by a Knight. But some good defense, and the Valiants will have 15 seconds to work with here on the shot clock. That one inbounded by Robinson. He'll get it to Ranahan. Ranahan up top gets it to San Luis. Back to Ranahan. Ranahan into the far wing for Robinson. Robinson doubled, now swings it for Middleton. Middleton from the elbow takes a couple of bounces along the rim, won't go. This one kicked out of play along the baseline, they will say by a Valiant. And so a huge stop there for Mount St. Mary. And now down 3, the Knights operating with the ball. Here's Graham, bounces off the screen from Egan, working against Ranahan. Now swings it across the floor for Rivera. Rivera's pass to Jeremino. Shot fake, now Jeremino goes all the way inside, gets it to go. Huge shot there from Jeremino and the foul. And now a big chance for a three-point play here for the home side. That is exactly what the doctor ordered. So a big shot from Brendan Graham into the timeout, a forced stop, and now Jeremino for the three-point play, he got it. And so now a 6-0 run from Mount St. Mary on some back-to-back highlight reel plays. All tied up at 54. San Luis swings it now for Robinson. Robinson guarded by Rivera. He'll swing it back to San Luis. San Luis for Middleton. Back up top for Robinson. Now it's Ranahan. Ranahan, mid-range jump shot from right in front of the free throw line. That one too strong. Rebounded by Jeremino. Jeremino gets it to Rivera, who gets it to Graham. Graham now bring the ball up the floor. He'll get it to Egan. Egan on the ground. He'll swing it to his left. Rivera puts it on the ground. Now gets it back to Egan. Egan working on San Luis. Back up top. Jeremino for 3. Too strong. Robinson snatches that one out of the air. A really good look for Jeremino. That one underneath for Middleton. Middleton runs into Egan. So it will be a foul against Egan. But on a play like that, you want to make the guy you're guarding earn his 2 points. So now Isaiah Middleton gets 2 chances at the stripe to re-give Manhattanville the lead. So Middleton 22 for 27 from the line going into today. Good for roughly 82%. His first free throw is good. Manhattanville back up front. So easily the biggest free throws of the game for either side. Isaiah Middleton looks to go for 2 for 2, and he does. The guard answers the call, and the Valiants back up 2 points. Working with it now is Walsh. We have dipped under the 5-minute mark. Walsh will swing it for Rivera. Rivera operating from just above the key. Gets it to Germino, who gets it back to Walsh. Walsh on the ground, uses his left, swings it up top for Egan. Egan puts it on the ground. He'll continue to work to his left. 6 left on the 30. Rivera, good look for 3. Got it! Justin Rivera from way outside, and Mount St. Mary has taken the lead. 4.5 minutes to play. The home side up 1. Here's Sandali, gets it to Ranahan. Ranahan for Robinson. Robinson doesn't put it on the ground, gives it back up top for Ranahan, gets it back to the Robinson. San Luis in the corner. Robinson, long 3-pointer. It's good. Chris Robinson from the next county over. And Manhattanville back up 2. Working with it now, Justin Rivera. 4 minutes to play. Both sides trading huge baskets down the stretch. Rivera swings it for Walsh. Back to Rivera. He'll try it again. You bet. Justin Rivera again from 3-point land, and the home team back up 1. A timeout taken on the floor. So both sides will rethink strategy, but the lights are being shot out in the Kaplan Center here down the stretch. We will take a brief step aside. Mount St. Mary leads this one 60-59. And we will be back with the last 3 minutes, 48 seconds of action right after this. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we look about ready to resume basketball action here this afternoon, and you could not have asked for a better game to ring in the new year. Mount St. Mary 60, Manhattanville 59, both teams trading huge shots down the stretch. And with 3:40 to play, I expect that to be a continuing theme. Both sides searching for their first conference win. Mount St. Mary looking to snap a losing streak. Robinson spins. Now tried to get it to the corner. That one taken away by Brendan Graham. Mount St. Mary's interior defense rock solid down the stretch, and now the Knights look to gather some breathing room. Egan for Rivera right underneath. Can't get it to go. Matthew Walsh, a tailor-made opportunity, just couldn't get it to go right under the basket. And the Valiants catch a bit of a break. Robinson now working on Walsh. He'll go right at him. Can't get it to go off the glass. That one takes a couple of bounces. They'll say it's last touched by Manhattanville. As now down on the floor is Robinson, which is something you don't want to see in any capacity. But for as well as Robinson has played tonight, this would be devastating for Manhattanville if this is serious. It does not appear to be. Robinson up and moving under his own power, just looks a little shaken up. We're glad he is okay. What a game Chris Robinson has had for the Valiants. So the appropriate parties cleaning up what needs to be cleaned up. 3:05 separating us and the finish line here tonight. Mount St. Mary leads it 60-59. Brendan Graham inbounds it to Justin Rivera, who gets it back to Brendan Graham. Justin Rivera back-to-back huge three-pointers right before the timeout. We'll see if Mount St. Mary continues to feed the hot hand. Graham works it inside for Walsh. Walsh tried to get it underneath. Oh, sorry, that's Germino. Tried to get it underneath. Couldn't. And this is a violation somewhere on the floor, and it'll be Manhattanville ball. The Valiants, though this has been a close game all game, the Valiants have been in the driver's seat most of the game. They've led by anywhere from 1 to 9 points for the duration of the contest. Long three-pointer Ranahan, that one won't go. So now Manhattanville likely just needed to take a deep breath. 2.5 minutes, still a lot of time. The Knights leading by the narrowest of margins. Back to Graham, now up top for Walsh. Three-pointer, that one won't go, takes a couple of bounces, and is snatched out of the air by Jack Maloney. He's into the contest for the first time tonight with 2 minutes to play. Here now is Chris Robinson. He'll swing it up top for Ranahan. Ranahan into the corner, it's Malillo. Malillo back for Robinson, now it's Ranahan. Wide open look for three, can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, but they'll say this is a foul on the floor. And this is where the issue of the Valiants being in the bonus comes into play. We had talked about it briefly when Manhattanville first entered the bonus. That would have been with roughly 8 minutes to play. And in a game in a game that has turned out to be as close as it is, free trips to the free throw line are something you cannot afford to give up, as Maloney's first free throw is good. So now Maloney looking to give his guys the lead, and he does. The two biggest free throws of the night to date. And Jack Maloney goes 2 for 2 with the stripe. So now Mount St. Mary down one. Matthew Walsh with the ball. Jeremino sets a screen, swung into the corner for Graham. Graham now swings it up top for Rivera. Rivera shot fake, cuts inside, now gives it back to Walsh. Walsh back for Rivera, back to Walsh. Now underneath for Egan, operating from around the elbow. He kicks it back outside the three-point line. It's Walsh again. Now Rivera, 6 left on the 30, needing to get a shot off. Long three from Graham. No good. Rebound, Chris Robinson. The Valiants looking to stretch the floor. Robinson goes right at the rim, left short, grabs his own rebound, gets it to go. We'll see if that second chance basket counted. My early guess is no. They will say he is fouled on the first shot. So the second chance basket is waved off, but it is a shooting foul, so Chris Robinson will now get to shoot 2 regardless. And the first one is no good. So Mount St. Mary catching a bit of a break there on that missed free throw. Chris Robinson, 24 for 41 coming into today from the free throw line, and Robinson misses them both. So best case scenario for Mount St. Mary, a minute 20 to play. 61-60, the Valiants lead. Walsh gives it for Graham. Graham wide open for 3, left it short. Rebounded by Ranahan. So Brandon Graham gets a really good look from beyond the arc, just leaves it short. And now Coach Romello Ford will take a timeout from the Valiants bench. Ladies and gentlemen, do not go anywhere. Manhattanville 61, Mount St. Mary 60. And we'll be back with the last minute and 4 seconds of action when we come back. And so, ladies and gentlemen, the first Skyline Conference matchup of 2026 has not disappointed. The Manhattanville Valiants 61, the Mount St. Mary Knights 60. The Valiants with the ball and the 1-point lead down the stretch. 1:04 left to play. We'll see if the Valiants can hang on, and we'll see if the home side can pull off the upset, snap the losing streak, and open up the new year with a victory. Robinson will swing it for Melillo behind half court. Now Melillo crosses half court. If you're the Valiants, you're not in a hurry to get a shot off. You know the Knights won't foul. There's Ranahan underneath. Robinson, that one rejected. Still bouncing around. The Valiants managed to get the offensive rebound. Still bouncing around. And the Valiants do manage to come away with it. Wow. So Chris Robinson missed the initial shot. There was a lot of changing of hands right under the basket. Somehow it is the Valiants that come away with it. And now with 33 seconds, they'll look for the dagger. Robinson inside. It's Ranahan. Got it to go. Nicely done under the basket. Now the Valiants up 3. The shot clock is turned off. We'll see what Coach Kadlubowski wants to do here. As a smart decision to foul for the Valiants, and the timeout will be taken. And so now the question becomes, if you're the Valiants, if you're up 3, do you foul and just send Mount St. Mary to the free throw line? Because obviously you can't shoot more than 2 free throws on your average foul. Or if you're the Valiants, do you throw all the chips on playing defense and getting a stop? The shot clock is off, so in theory, this could be the last possession of the game. I expect the Valiants to just foul up 3 and then force Mount St. Mary's hand. Because, of course, the Valiants foul. Mount St. Mary makes them both. They still lead the game by 1, and they ultimately do end up with the ball back. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we will take a very brief step aside as both coaches discuss what they will do for these last 23 seconds. Don't go anywhere. And so now Mount St. Mary breaks the huddle. 63-60 your score. 23 seconds left to play here in this afternoon. It has been a thriller from the Kaplan Center here so far. Mr. Rivera on the inbound. The Valiants will not foul. So we'll see if Mount St. Mary is in any hurry to get a shot off. Rivera attacks the rim, now goes inside, gets it to go off the glass. And so now with 15 seconds to play, it is a 1-point deficit and another timeout. And so now, of course, Mount St. Mary will almost assuredly foul immediately after the inbound. And so now Mount St. Mary will get the ball back, eventually trailing by no more than 3 points. And so, either way, after the foul, it'll still be a 1-possession game, and the Knights will get one last chance. And so, ladies and gentlemen, a riveting finish here down the stretch. Do not go anywhere. We will be back after this brief timeout. So both sides have again broken the huddle. Lots of commiserating down the stretch. It has been extremely close all game, and the finish to it is no exception. The Valiants lead by just a basket. 15 seconds left to play. The Knights again will almost assuredly foul after this ball is inbounded. The issue is the Valiants have to get it in after the 5-second mark, and they do. 2 seconds off of the game clock to foul. The Knights can't believe it. They're going to argue... I believe they're going to try and argue he didn't get it off. Coach Kadlubowski talking to the officials. Multiple Knights on the court calling for a replay review, but ultimately Coach Kadlubowski is the only one that can make that decision. And so either way, the Knights will elect to not take it to the booth. Coach Ford taking a second to talk to his guys as Jack Maloney shoots another huge 2 free throws. The first one settles in. 64-62 your score. Matthew Walsh checks back into the game. Walsh standing at 6'2". The Knights likely just looking for some size. Manning the blocks right now for Mount St. Mary, Rob Germino and Connor Gemmel. Gemmel 6'7", Germino 6'6". They won't need the rebound anyway. Now 65-62 your score. 10 seconds left to play. Brandon Graham will wisely burn a timeout. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with 9 seconds to go, it'll be do or die for the home side when we come back. Manhattanville 65, Mount St. Mary 62. It has been an absolute thriller in the Hudson Valley this afternoon. Stick around, we'll see how it wraps up. So the Valiants have broken the huddle. Coach Kadlabowski, no doubt, just drawing up a play. We'll see what strategy the Valiants end up taking. Mount St. Mary is not in the bonus. I do not believe they are anywhere near the bonus. So we will see if the Valiants just try and send the Knights to the free throw line, or we'll see if they'll let them play out these last 10 seconds. Justin Rivera on the inbound. It's Graham. Graham now puts the moves on. Mount St. Mary needs a three-pointer to keep playing. Rivera from way outside won't go, but there's a stoppage before then. I think there was a lot of whistling and commiserating before Rivera even got that shot off. I believe they're going to say it was a foul somewhere on the floor. It was. Okay, so now Manhattanville leans into the foul strategy. Mount St. Mary was apparently close to being in the bonus. That foul, it looks like, puts them over the top. So a bit of a strategy here from Coach Ford. Of course, you're going to send these guys to the line because you can afford to. Another timeout taken. So, of course, the Valiants lead this by 3. Mount St. Mary obviously can't shoot any more than 2 at the free throw line. So the classic and common strategy of basketball, foul up 3, just ensures that Mount St. Mary cannot take a shot to tie the game. So again, not necessarily a pretty brand of basketball, but it is the smart brand of basketball and likely the correct move here, as both teams and the referees commiserate. And so it will be Mount St. Mary shooting 2. We'll see now what strategy Mount St. Mary ends up taking, because with 4 seconds to play, obviously the intentional miss is a known basketball strategy, but do you take your chances, try and shoot the first one? You do. Graham gets it to go. Huge shot there from Brendan Graham. And now, do you take the intentional miss, or do you continue to just take your chances with making the free throw? That is what I would ask my color man if I had one. And so now we'll see what strategy Graham ends up taking. He'll just try and go for the second point. Misses that one short, which is worst case scenario. Rebounded by Robinson, swings it up ahead, and that'll do it. That's how we finish here tonight. Maloney fouled hard down the stretch, but the clock had already ran out. And ladies and gentlemen, that's how this one wraps up here tonight. Wow. And so what a finish to what really was an exciting contest. It is the Manhattanville Valiants winning by the narrowest of margins, 65-63. Your final score here this afternoon. The Valiants pick up their first Skyline Conference win this season. Mount St. Mary falls to 0-2. They have dropped their 8th in a row. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as usual, I am Lucas Stackpole. Thank you so much for making me part of your Saturday afternoon, no matter where in the country you are, East Coast, West Coast like me, does not matter. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. And ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all for the next one. Thank you so much.